What the hell happened? Part 15. So let me just take a second and expand on some stuff we've already gone over because I feel like I've just missed parts that are relevant. Um, Part of the reason for homesteading to begin with um, was really to help people. And basically, I had a vision in mind of, just people that are just not doing that well in life or at an awkward spot and need somewhere to go. I mean, I have 100 acres. Like, I could put people everywhere. I could build houses everywhere. I could do something cool like that. And so that was kind of a big part of it. There was a lot of religious reason for starting a homestead. Maybe not so much with me as much as with my wife and my sister. Um, just on, yeah, like, the world not doing that well. Maybe the whole world's going to end. And I mean, with the whole epidemic that was happening and everybody was getting sick and stuff, like it kind of looked like, hey, things aren't looking good. Firmly believe that God guides my life all the time because there's just too many coincidences not to believe that something like that's happening. I just don't believe in coincidences happening that frequently all the time throughout my entire life. So part of it was like, is this going to be like a cool place where people can come if things are just awful? Um, didn't really know. And, it was just kind of hopeful, wanted to help people, wanted people to do better. Um, yeah, food for me, food was like huge because like foraging food, like there's so much stuff you can eat and people all over the world are hungry and just basically big visions of helping people somehow. Wasn't sure how that was going to all come about, but that was a big part of why I was homesteading too. Within the first year of homesteading, one day I received an email, and it was from a young man that wasn't in a good place in life, and he wanted, more. He believed similarly to what we believed, and he wanted just to come out and celebrate a feast with us. So, okay, we can do that. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was probably Sukkot. Um, anyway, that's just part of, I've got a number of different feasts I celebrate with my religious beliefs. And I get an email out of the blue that is interested, and I said, sure, come on out, And so this young man comes out, hangs out, we have a good time, we just talk all the time, all kinds of religious conversation, life conversation. He was probably about 10 years younger than me, very just needing direction in life. And I don't know if I was really providing that for him or not, but I tried to offer him advice and situations. And he ended up going home, had a good time, whatever, wanted to come back and wanted to stay here and work for a while. And this is all before social media. Um, and so he wanted to, and I'm like, well, sure, you can come help out, hang out, whatever. I'm certain that he had a romantic interest in Jezebel, ever since like the beginning, probably since he first met her. I don't know. At the time, I didn't really realize that, but anyway, he comes out. We start doing some work. I'm digging a trench for some water lines, doing things, and he's just not, physical labor. I don't think is anything he's ever done. He got tired of it. He got frustrated with it, and I'm like, told him you don't have to. You don't have to, but then he kind of wanted to. So like, I think he had an internal conflict going on, and turns out he spent some time in a facility, um, just mental health issues. And this is what he told me. And I'm like, well, okay, whatever, not a big deal. He's out there, we're doing all this. He seems okay completely the entire time I ever interact with him. He's just back and forth, and we just have conversations, and he leaves and then comes back, a month later, and we kind of do it again. He ends up at one point just saying, hey, interested in dating Jezebel. Is it okay? Do I have your permission to go ask her? And, I thought it was cool that he wanted to run it by me first. And then I said, yeah, you can go ask her. I don't care. So he went out to the field where she was, and it's out there for a while, talked, whatever. Came back. He was like, she said, well, maybe. And so I ended up talking with Jezebel the next day, and I'm like, well, and she really wanted my input. What do you think of him, and what? And I just kind of was like, well, I mean, do what you want to do, but I'm just like, here's some potential issues you may have to work through in order for it to work and be compatible. And it was just, I think that was the whole reason he was out there. As time went on, I mean, they spent more time together, they hung out. I didn't think there was any relationship there at the time. Looking back on it, I'm quite sure there was most definitely a relationship. After he left, in the following months and even years after he wasn't there, he just kept, messaging me or emailing me, sending me stuff. He ended up, from what he told me, he ended up thinking a bunch of people were out to get him, and he ended up parking his vehicle in an intersection and standing on the roof yelling and screaming and, possibly acting crazy. And then that's what law enforcement thought too. And yeah, he ended up having to, go somewhere and hang out. But anyway, it was just kind of a whole crazy thing. And like, helping people sounds really, really good to say, and it sounds great in your mind, and it just depends what the people are like. Like, some people can't be helped, some people can, but you don't realize how much effort it takes. And then you find out that instead of helping this young man with guidance, you find out that there was just totally other things going on. And it's like, how was I helping this person at all? I wasn't helping anyone anywhere, and it's just totally discouraging. That whole scenario helped me realize how difficult it can be to help people, and there's a gazillion ways to help people, and I'm still completely focused on helping people in some way or another. And this kind of leads right into the next part, which is getting on social media. I had been on social media the entire time on YouTube. I had a whopping 160 subs after a year of doing it, and I was exhausted. I'm like, I'm not putting time into this, like nobody cares. So pretty much just threw YouTube on the back burner. Didn't make videos, didn't post anything. Was putting out some longer stuff, talking about things. Nobody cared. Anyway, then this app, TikTok, comes out, or had been out, but I was made aware of it. And I'm like, oh, short videos. Well, if I'm going to do social media, I'm not going to dump all this time into it anymore. I'm just going to do short stuff. Ended up in the first probably 4 or 5 days posting stuff, got a couple hundred people to follow back, or to follow. That was cool. Made a couple videos just saying what my lifestyle was like, and one of them went viral, got over 1 million views, and next thing I know, I have like 10,000 follows. And I'm like, well, I haven't introduced myself. And so I go and make an introduction video and just started out, hi, my name is Nate. And I tried to just do an introduction video. Figured it wouldn't perform. That video blew up. Over 100,000 people followed me in about 48 hours. Just went absolutely nuts. And I was totally dumbfounded. And yet at the same time, I realized, hey, I may have found my way to help people again, because information is extremely helpful. And I get to show, like, I'm homesteading, but I'm building a homestead. I'm still building a homestead. Like, this is starting out. This is the beginning stages. Like, and this is cool that I can show it to a bunch of people, and how we're planning it and how it's going. And so I just went right into it. Just started making a few more videos, usually put out 1 video a day, and kept going. Social media ended up playing a huge role in the dynamic of how everything went here on the homestead after the first year. And there were changes, some things were different, and it wasn't ever really how I expected. And I kind of saw it and I kind of didn't. But anyway, we'll get into that into the next part.